Hello, Mindfulness Project family. Okay, it's Mindfulness Project Training Hub time. We are a lot more people right now because so many of you have decided to not only donate to us and but a lot of you joined our Mindfulness Project Training Hub on Patreon. So welcome guys. And this is incredible. You know, there's coming so many donations right now that looks pretty good, that we are safe for the year. We have already paid our rent, our internet, our car goes into repair now, and we're going to have a new insurance. Now we just need to have the basic like health insurance and food and stuff like this. So thank you guys so much. And especially thank you for all of you who have supporting us on Patreon for a longer time. This is, guys, I mean, you make such a difference in our life, and it's so beautiful. We're helping the dog shelter right now a lot and making films and consulting and marketing for them. And you know, we are planning a film on the air pollution here through sugarcane burning. So stop eating sugar. It's not good for you. And yeah, we do a lot of crazy good stuff. So thank you for supporting us. It means everything to us. And we're really pumped up to make a difference because we get also so many nice emails from you. You know, keep going, stay strong. We are strong. And for today, the teachings for our Mindfulness Project Training Hub, we're still in the series of the Koshas. You can just, you know, watch this, but whoever joined the Training Hub, maybe start with the first teachings and then go through the layers. So, and just for a little reminder, in yoga, the teachings of the koshas are that you have your inner core, you know, the essence of who you are. And then around that are 5 layers, which are kind of like from fine to gross, more and more, you know, thicker and thicker layers, which keeps you away from the core of who and what you really are. In the Buddhist teachings also, the Buddha a lot of times started with the sentence, "O nobly born, remember who you really are." So it's, you know, like our whole life journey is basically about, you know, getting away from the layers, you know, the physical layers that we attach and identify only with the outer 2 centimeters of our body. You know, just imagine this, you know, skin layer would be gone, you know. We would be really scared about somebody. Nobody is, you know, identifying with their blood vessels or their kidney. You know, oh, I have such a beautiful kidney. That would not really happen. And, you know, and then we have our pranic, our, you know, the energy, breath, layer, and, you know, our feelings and so forth. I explained that before. So now we're coming to the last layer around our inner core, and that is our Anandamaya Kosha, which is translated as our bliss layer. So that's really exciting now. So the Anandamaya Kosha is associated with joy, deep peace, you know, like unconditional love, you know, all the higher aspects actually of our being, but it's still a layer, don't forget that. So, and I usually, before my talks, I researched a little bit about in the yogic literature, and I came across one yoga teacher, and she was writing that, you know, like to explain a little bit on Anandamaya Kosha and the bliss and the joy and stuff like that, that she said we all know these deep, deep states of bliss, you know, like when we're having a special, sexual experience with one person, the amount of bliss feelings we can feel, or if we're really in tune with ourselves and having special moments, then this bliss can shine through. That is not Anandamaya Kosha. The bliss we are talking about here is you need to discern, and that's the layer before, our layer of discernment. We need to be able to really clearly see what is what. Yeah, so what is the conventional level of our existence and what is the absolute level of our existence? And when we talk about Anandamaya Kosha, bliss, then you need to understand that there are two different kinds of things in this world. The world of the conditioned and the world of the unconditioned. And the Buddha was talking about the unconditioned as the highest principle, basically. So Anandamaya Kosha, if you have things which are based on something, then they are conditioned. So I'm happy because I'm having sex. That is conditioned joy or conditioned bliss. If I'm, for me, everybody knows that I'm a damn chocolate lover. If I have these mouth orgasms and I just get into this bliss states of, lava cake with coconut ice cream, then that is not Anandamaya Kosha bliss because it's dependent on a stimulus of my senses. So, and then there is the bliss of the unconditioned. So, and that are only deep meditative states where you suddenly can come into an explosion of happiness and joy and peace, and there's sometimes also more subtle things. I will talk about this a little bit later in these teachings, which is not conditioned, not based on any kind of mind state, any kind of meditation technique or whatever. It's this bliss comes from the unconditioned. Alrighty, so but I would like still to talk about the two different levels of joy and bliss, because it's really important for our life, because we also need to talk about the conventional dependent joy and bliss. And I think this is why this yoga teacher, we're putting these two together in order to write about it. So you probably know by now Brené Brown. She is a shame researcher. And her work is really remarkable because she is a scientist and, this type of very seriously committed to science kind of person. And so in one of her lectures, she says that they had these, in the US, the first mass shootings where, young kids were, taking guns and, murdering a lot of people. So they really wanted to find out why these things happened. So they took a bunch of scientists together from different faculties, sociologists, psychologists, neuroscientists, and, just a whole variety to just understand every aspect of, why these things were happening, because it was so shocking for the society. So, and in the beginning they were like, wait a second, how can these different faculties ever come to one opinion? Will this work out? And then very, very clear in the very beginning, the main finding was that these kids who were doing this, mass shooting and became mass murders were kids who were not really allowed to play. And also in our lives, you can have a look how much there is actually play in your life. And she defines play not only I play soccer or I play cards or I play a computer game, but she said play is everything where you lose the sense of time and space, that you're so into it, and B, it makes you so happy that you don't want it to end. So reading a book, for example, is for me play, I just lose this, I just dive into the story and I don't want it to end. And, and have a look how much play is actually in your life. When I first time heard about it, I was like, ooh, I was always thinking, I love my work, for example. I just deeply, deeply love what I'm doing. When I'm in the garden, I just get so happy. But at one point I wanted to end, at one point I want to do something different. So that's not play, And Brené Brown was saying, I love my kids, but when I play with them, I'm mothering, and I wanted to end at one point. And so this is not play. So again, we need to have the sense of discernment, what is actually play, and then ask yourself, how much is this part of your day-to-day life? How much do you actually play, or how much do you study and whatever. So, and it's one of the most important things in our human realm, in our humanness, to play, to be, when I came to Thailand, being with monks was always fun. They were always joking, even in their teachings. There were times where they were just, talking funny things and making funny noises. And, I learned Buddhism that way, that it is light, it is not serious, it's easy. And then I came to Germany and I went into Buddhist circles and meditation groups, and everybody was meditating, they were cleaning their mind, and they were talking about all the philosophical concepts, and I was like, this is not Buddhism. And but then I realized, I have this Germanism in me too, that I have from my childhood, this need of control. So I'm working to try to control my environment and what other people think of me, and all this kind of things. And so learning the conventional level of joy and happiness is of foremost importance to your life. If it's not fun, if it's not, having this lightness and easiness of understanding what life actually is, then we get just frustrated, and, and the pity is that most people know play only when they are drunk or under the influence of drugs. This is where people can really let go. Even in sexual realms, even in, just being with other people, we are uptight, we are afraid, our mind is constantly looking of what other people think of me, and, really letting go. Most of the time people can only do on parties when they are really drunk, and then they're doing silly things. Then they're doing, just completely things out of the box. But we need to, if we really want to learn to be free, and that's me and Anya's main focus of guiding people into real liberation. If you want to be free, then you need to be able to do silly things. Then you need to have an active inner child, which can laugh, which can play, which can do stupid things, also when you're not drunk and when you're not under the influence of alcohol. And, and probably then you would not need it anymore, because, otherwise you are a slave of these substances, which I don't mean you should never use them, You can if you want, there's nothing wrong with it, but if you are dependent on it, then, if you can only have fun when you are under influences of drugs or alcohol, and then have a look, and then just really work yourself towards silliness. So if you're meeting, have a look, how can I bring more fun to my life? How can I look more at, the funny sides. And I don't know if you know Jack Cornfield. He's a very famous meditation teacher from the West. And when I had my meditation retreat with him and the private talks, that was one of the advices he gave to me. He said, Christian, look out for joy in your meditation. Yeah, just look out for joy in your life and see, how you can make things different. So that's my advice for you. Just when you stop this, don't get too much of the shitty news into your brain all the time. Don't get the social media shit into your brain, but get inspiration from people and live your life in the craziest way you can. So, but Anandamaya Kosha goes deeper. Yeah. The Anandamaya Kosha Bliss means we are talking about meditation. So one of our teachers in the Himalayan Institute in Rishikesh, he is Stomaji. He's a psychologist, and he's a very wise and scientific teacher. And so he was learning from Swami Atma. Sorry, not Swami Atma. That's the other, Swami Veda. He's a teacher in the Himalayan Institute. And so he was learning meditation, and at one point the meditation started to deepen incredibly. And he had one of these meditation experiences where he basically had feelings much more intense than an orgasm, where he had, feelings of joy and happiness and peace and oneness. And so he was so excited. So he was writing Swami Veda an email and was saying, Swamiji, I had this experience and it was so intense. I had this incredible experiences, and it was more incredible than any sexual experience I ever had, and So, and then he got an email back from Swami Veda, and he said, I'm very happy for you. These are the feelings where I'm in 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Imagine that, yeah? So imagine you would live your life based on, this kind of mind states of deepest peace, of deepest joy and happiness. And this is what the Buddha was saying, there is an end to suffering. It's possible, and you just need to walk this way. And so, for me, when I was meditating and I was 3 weeks in the dark room, which we built, there was one moment where I was very frustrated, because it was the first time I was going into the dark room. I was, now I'm really getting seriously into meditation, and, things will really change for me. And I don't know, you lose the sense of time. I don't know how long I've been in there, but I guess 10 days. And I was doing walking meditation, sitting meditation, walking meditation. I was sleeping very little, and I was really going for it, and nothing happened. No deep meditation experiences, nothing. And I was just really frustrated at one point. It was like, I cannot do this, maybe it's not my path and stuff like that. And why do I not have deep meditation experiences? And suddenly, and that is, the Kosha we talked about last month, the intuition part, or in the Himalayan Institute, they talk about the inner teacher. So I heard the voice of my teacher, Ajahn Sumshai, inside of me, and saying, it doesn't matter at all if you have a positive meditation experience in here. I'm like, huh? What? So, I heard this voice again saying, Christian, it doesn't matter if you have a positive meditation experience in here. And in this moment, my mind was exploding, just I had the feeling as if my ego was imploding and was scrambled to dust. And in this moment, my consciousness was expanding into the unlimited, and then a lot of crazy meditation experiences started, and I could see with my own eyes that everything was just cause and condition, cause and conditions. There was no ego, no self, no separation, everything was one, and it was just that everything what we do, will either bring light into the collective consciousness or will bring darkness into the collective consciousness. And I was like, I don't know how long that lasted. And of course, everything is impermanent. It also disappeared again, and I was back in my ordinary mind more quick than I wanted to. But I will never forget this moment. I will never forget the depth of this experience. So, and this is why I teach people meditation, to experience the same incredible things. But the thing is, a lot of people go on the spiritual path and they want to have incredible meditation experiences, and that is still the ego wanting something, and that prevents us from getting there. So I will make a meditation for you where I try to guide you through this process to unlimited joy and bliss. And but what I would like to mention today is that the Buddha said there's a clear eightfold path towards these kind of states of consciousness. And usually in the teachings we divide it into 3 parts, what you need to do to go there. So, I really want everybody to reach this goal. This is why we're sitting here. So, and the threefold training in Buddhism is in Pali language, Sila, Samadhi, Panya. Sila means ethic, Samadhi means meditation, and this is what we're going to do next week. And Panya means wisdom. So our talks, what we give here, is the wisdom part. The meditation we'll do next week. But what I would like to mention, and a lot of my teachers and also Ajahn Chah is talking about it a lot, is, you can only get there if you live an ethical life. And, also, when you come to the anonymous alcoholics, like the first part of their healing journey to get out of alcoholism is that they just realize what they have done in their life to other people, and they go to them and say, I'm sorry, and they try to resolve these kind of things. So, and that is a very clever thing, because, Jack Conrad always says, you cannot, just spend the whole day robbing and murdering people and then think that you have a really nice and peaceful and blissful meditation experience. It just doesn't work like this. And, we all have shady sides. We all have, these kind of things where we're ashamed of, where we mistreated other people, where we have cheated and lied and been egoistic and all these kind of things. So it's important for us to not look back, to not, torture yourself for what you have been doing and what a bad person you are. But, Buddhism is about the now. It's about, this moment and the next moment and the next moment, How do you live your life? What job do you have? Does it hurt people, or does it bring everything, into a better world? How do we consume? What kind of products do we buy? How do we spend our money? Which social medias are we using? Are we making this world, a more vain place? Even if you're a yoga teacher, do you show yourself, in absurd poses and make this, yoga in a string tanga kind of thing, because it will bring you likes and popularity? or are you refraining from it? And it's a constant struggle. It's not kind of like, yeah, I promise myself I will live a completely ethical life. Now it's you always have to debate it with yourself, but try to make step by step the right choices, and try to just really see where can I live a more ethical life. That's so important in our times now, and for what we are doing here in Thailand at home. Yeah, so your homework would be that you go through your life right now and just really use your inner teacher to see what is actually healing for this planet and what is not. For example, I try to get away from WhatsApp, because I think they are doing a shitty job with using our information for just marketing basically. And they're a nice alternative. I try to use Facebook less and less, Instagram less and less, because I don't want to play this game anymore. And if you guys have any ideas, what else? I changed my bank account to a very, very ethical bank, GLS in Germany. If you know about it, just have a look. Where is your energy coming from? Where do you buy from? Which products do you buy? There's a lot of stuff to do. So ethics is the way, because just imagine if you would live a life which is really wholesome for this planet, where you're really helping a lot of people. You would wake up in the morning with this energy and this joy of, I'm a fucking good person, I'm really, really great. Yeah, Shanti is also has this idea, huh, Shanti? And Peanut also. So they need me now. I love you guys. Thank you again for all your incredible support. I'm still blown away. It's amazing. If you still want to donate to us, please help us a little bit more. And otherwise, I'm sending you a lot of love and energy into this corona craziness, and make the best out of it. Smile, love, do whatever you can to make every single day count. Thank you.